Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Joana, and I like to talk about books on this channel, specifically fantasy books. And today I'm here joined by my friend Sophia, you should know her by now because she's been on this channel like a gazillion times, I think. And we decided to do just like chatty videos, I guess, where we just talk about stuff. On this channel, we are kind of sticking to book things. On your channel, we just did recently a Christmas traditions discussion. So if you're interested in knowing about our Christmas traditions and what we do, what we did, what we like, etc., so I will leave that video linked in the description of this video. Today we're doing the picking our favorite book via the book bracket method, and we both decided that we don't agree on this method, but we decided to do this anyway, just for funsies. Why do you not like the book bracket method?
I mean, I think for some people it probably works quite well, especially if you don't read like as many books as you and I tend to read.
Well, as
You
you.
might have, well, yeah, as I read, uh, because you might have like one standout favorite, and for some months that is the case. Like for some months, I do have one book that is like way above all of the rest in terms of how much I enjoy it. But a lot of times, I will like a few books, or I might have a month where I unfortunately have only read meh books.
Mm.
But if I've had a month where I've only read books that I just kind of thought was okay, I still have to pick one of those kind of okay books to go into my bracket. Now, of course, it's not going to win, right? Because there's no
Yeah.
way it's going to stand up against the ones that I did like, but it still ends up in the top 12,
Yeah.
even though it actually isn't a top 12 book. So it works in some respects and not in others,
I
perhaps.
agree. I agree. I think that's this year, actually. I mean, you know all about my life, but this year has been a hard year for me, and I had a few months of the year where I read almost nothing, literally. There's 3 months where I read, I think, 2 books, and they were all audiobooks, and they were even books totally outside of my genre. I wasn't reading fantasy at all for like a good solid 3 or 4 months. And so this year, the bracket method was a bit easier because of that, because I didn't read a lot. But in the first months of the year, and in the last months of the year where I was reading fantasy and I was picking up the stuff I wanted, it was hard because I remember in January I had like five-star books. Um, so it was hard for me to pick which one of these is actually a favorite. So I agree with you. It's why I don't really like the book bracket method, because what if in 2 months I have two books that are like definitely outstanding? I have to pick only one that has to maybe
Mm-hmm.
go up against a meh book, like you said. So absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And I do have a few months like that where I did in my reading journal this year try and pick a top favorite each month because I thought that it might help me remember when I get to the end of the year, and I think it has done that. But there are months where I've picked one, but really there are a couple that
Mm-hmm.
were really good.
Okay. So, to start us off with, I want to say that we picked already, so that this wouldn't take forever. We picked our book of the month for each month, but we
Mm.
haven't done the bracket. I picked them out really quickly, and I don't remember what's pitted against what, so I don't know. So it's gonna be
Right.
fun to see.
Do
So
you have the order that we're supposed to do them in? Like what we're supposed to pit against what?
I
Is
just
it
thought that
just
we'd pit January, February against each other, then March,
okay,
April,
okay.
May, June, and
Yeah, yeah.
then whatever comes out of there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So tell me, what was your favorite book of the month of January?
For January, I have picked Daughter of Smoke and Bone.
Oh, nice. Oh, I will say I didn't
Mm.
pick any rereads for this challenge.
Yeah, see, this wasn't a reread for me.
Yeah,
This was actually a first time read, but I haven't picked
rereads.
rereads either. Apart
Okay.
from one month where I basically only did rereads.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Totally
Because
fair.
then there'd be no book.
Okay, Daughter of Smoke and Bone. That is a very good pick. I remember you inhale, so that's trilogy.
I
So,
did, I did.
okay, for January, I picked The Mask of Mirrors by Emma Carrick, which
Ooh,
was I just love that book so much. Okay, what's your February pick?
my February pick is The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers, which is the
Okay,
last book in the Wayfarers series.
all right. My February book was The Mad Ship by Robin Hobb.
Mm,
So that's already like whew, tough. Okay, month of
tough call,
March.
tough call. For the month of March, I went with Finley Donovan is Killing It.
All right.
Yeah.
I went with The Bone Shard Daughter.
Mm.
And then April.
April, The Bone Shard Daughter.
um, okay, for April, I went with Dreams of Gods and Monsters, which is the third book in the Daughter Smoke and Bone trilogy. So, do we want to do the first 4 months as brackets and then move on, or do you want to just continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. So we need one from January and February and one from March and April, right?
Yes. So you're pitting against each other Daughter of Smoke and Bone and what
The
was your
Galaxy
favorite
and the
book?
Ground Within.
Oh yeah.
So out of those two, I'll go Galaxy and the Ground Within.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm old school. I'm gonna highlight, otherwise I'll forget what I said. I'm gonna go. So I'm pitting against each other, Mask of Mirrors and Mad Ship. So hard choice, but I'm gonna go with the Mask of
Crikey.
Mirrors on this one.
Okay.
All right, and
So
then March you're pitting.
Finley Donovan against Bone Shard Daughter. So Bone Shard Daughter's going to win that one.
Okay, so for me it's Bone Shard Daughter against Dreams of Gods and Monsters, and Bone Shard Daughter is gonna win that one as well. Okay, what was your May book?
My May book was Brace for Impact, which is actually the memoir that I read this year, shockingly enough.
Oh yeah, it's about roller skating.
It is.
My May book. May was my month of I read 2 books. One of them was a 2-star. So my outstanding book of the month of May was The Spanish Love Deception.
Yes.
Which I actually did love. It wasn't just like a okay.
June? If I have to.
Yeah.
For June, I went with Arrows of the Queen, or is it Arrows for the Queen? I can never remember what the conjunctive is there, but either way, it's by Mercedes Lackey. It's the first in the Arrows trilogy.
Okay. And for the month of June, I have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I ended up really liking. So July, what did you pick for July?
July, I'm going with Gut Feelings, which is a novel in verse.
Okay. I went with The Atlas 6, which we actually buddy read.
Yeah. Fun. August? Or do we need to go back?
No, August.
The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy.
You did really like that one, didn't you?
I really liked that one, yeah.
I'm surprised that you liked it more than I thought you would, and you liked it more than I always remember you liking it.
Yeah.
All right, so my August book is Flamefall by Rosario Munda. I didn't know if I wanted to pick this one or the last book in the trilogy, but the last book took me forever to read because I was working a lot in the month of August, and so this one I kind of inhale read, so Flamefall it is.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so you're pitting against each other.
Yeah, so we need to go back now, right?
Yeah,
so
May and June.
May was Brace for Impact, and June was Arrows of the Queen. I'm going to go with Arrows of the Queen.
Okay. So for me, it's The Spanish Love Deception versus Malibu Rising. I think I'm going to go with Malibu Rising because I saw so much of myself in that book, so yeah.
Nice. So July was Gut Feelings, and then August was The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, and surprise, surprise, The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy is the winner out of those two.
Surprise! Okay, Atlas 6 and Flamefall. This is hard because I really liked both of those.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. See, okay, this is the discussion we were having last night. When I love 2 books the same, almost the same amount for very different reasons, because they're very different books. One is YA, one isn't. One is Dark Academia, one isn't. One has dragons, one doesn't. I go, which one made me cry? And that's the one that's going to win. And therefore, it's going to be Flamefall because it had an emotional impact on me.
Done.
Oh, I lied to you earlier. Okay, continue.
Lied to me?
Yeah, I didn't even notice I was lying. Continue.
Oh, okay.
September.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Never Seen, which is a Keeper of the Lost Cities book.
See, this is why I lied, because my September book is Fury Song. I guess I finished it in September.
Okay.
October,
The Bride Test.
Oh, I still need to read that one.
one.
Okay. Well, my October book is Babel. And then your November book.
November book, people will be surprised that I am not choosing any of the Sanderson books that I read in November. I'm actually
Dang.
choosing Stella Loon, which was the most recent installment in the Keeper of the Lost City series. Shock, shock.
That is a shock. I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, my November book was Fire and Blood by George R. R. Martin, which I never expected because it reads like a textbook. And I read Ship of Destiny that month. And I love Ship of Destiny, but I was obsessed with Fire and Blood. I read it in 5 days.
Sense.
Yep. Also coming off of House of the Dragon, I mean, you know, I was really obsessed in November.
You were primed and ready.
Yeah, this book was made to be a favorite, so. And I was standing in the grocery store in between the onions and the Q-tips. Don't ask. I know, don't ask. And then there was a scene, and I was standing there, and I was wearing these headphones, and they're noise canceling, but I forget that that means that people can hear me, you know? And so I was so in my book, and I was like, no, don't do it, don't go, no, you're gonna die. And then, well, obviously, the person went and died, and so I started crying, and then the people were like, is she okay?
No, I'm not okay.
No, and then I was walking home from the same trip, and then a horrible scene happened, like one of the worst scenes in the whole book. And I was just like crying on my way home. I was like, why all of this because of stupid Otto Hightower? Screw you, Otto. And so then people are like, oh, this girl's crazy. Anyway, Fire and Blood. What's your December book? I mean, December isn't over, but...
It isn't. But I still feel pretty sure that my favourite is not going to change. And it is A Taste of Golden Iron.
Oh, yeah. You read that this month and you really liked that.
I really liked it. I really liked it a lot.
All right. Well, surprise. My December book is Fool's Errand. I mean...
Even though you told me you hate it.
I hated that book.
You hate it in a loving way.
I hated it so much, and I love it so much. So. Okay, so we have our, what is it?
So we have to pit September against October.
You have to pick, so we have to pit January against March. Or whatever, like whatever one of that first bracket won, you know?
We haven't done the last bracket yet, though. We haven't done September versus October and November versus December.
Well, we haven't done... Oh, yeah, we haven't. In my brain, it was such a no-brainer. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're done. Go for it. What? Do the last bracket. Sorry.
So my September pick was Never Seen, which is the Keeper of the Lost Cities book, and The Bride Test. I'm going to actually go with The Bride Test because I don't really want to reread in my final bracket, which maybe that's cheating, but whatever. And then November was Stella Loon, and December was A Taste of Golden Iron, which is really, really difficult to choose between those two because I really did love them both. But like you said, it's for different reasons, and I don't have that, well, whichever one made me cry thing, because I don't cry when I'm reading, and neither of them are kind of cry-worthy books anyway. But I think I'm going to go with Stella Loon.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, but yes.
Okay.
That's why this doesn't work, but yeah.
Exactly. All right, so my September was Fury Song, and my October was Babel. Babel is, of course, gonna take it. And then November was Fire and Blood, and December was Fool's Errand, and of course, Fool's Errand is gonna win. So.
Okay.
Okay, so out of the first 4 months, which ones did you pick again? Which 2 books are remaining?
Oh, so it was The Galaxy and the Ground Within, and then Bone Shard Daughter. So I have to pick out of those 2, right?
Yes.
Bone Shard Daughter.
Okay. For me, it's my January book, which was The Mask of Mirrors, and then my March book, which was The Bone Shard Daughter.
Okay. So we both still have Bone Shard Daughter.
Yeah, but I think this is where you lose me. I think I'm picking The Mask of Mirrors for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, Mask of Mirrors.
So then my next 2 after that were Arrows for the Queen
Mm-hmm.
and The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. I'm going to go with The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, I think.
That book,
Yeah.
you really like that.
I really liked that book, and I really liked the Arrows trilogy by Mercedes Lackey, but Undertaking was great.
Okay. All right. So my next ones are my June book, which was Malibu Rising, and my August book, which was Flamefall, and I'm picking Flamefall for this one.
Mm-hmm. That's funny because we both had our June and August books went through, and we've both picked our August books.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, August was a good month, apparently.
It was a good month.
So then I had left my October book of The Bride Test and my November book of Stellalune, and I'm going to go with Stellalune.
Of course, yeah. That one would have been surprising if you didn't. Okay, and here's where it gets hard for me, because if I do a favorites of the year bracket, no brackets, just like regular, I pick out of all the books I read, my top 2 books of the year are Fool's Errand and Babel, and I cannot pick which one's my favorite, and now they're pitted against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved Babel because it resonated with me in so many ways. I loved all the discussions in it. I loved it. I just loved Babel, and I read it pretty fast, and it was just an experience. I vlogged it. It was just great. But Fool's Errand, I was emotional from the beginning until the end. Yeah, there was a moment where I wasn't reading it because I don't remember. I was really busy for 1 week and I couldn't read at all. And then, so I took a break in Fool's Errand, which is the only thing that kind of made it less, like it cut that enjoyment. But the emotional impact from just finding like Fitz and Night Eyes and the Fool again, and then the ending of that book, it was just so emotional that I think it has to win because of that,
Yeah.
Even though Babel is just like, this is the hardest one. Like anything else is probably going to be now easy peasy, But like,
Yeah.
it's going to be Fool's Errand.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have 3 books remaining. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so which one are your 3 that are left?
So I have my April book, which was The Bone Shard Daughter.
Ah, yeah.
My August book, which is The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, and my November book, which is Stellalune.
Okay. So what are
So
you
that's
gonna do?
if we go 1, 2, 3, do we then have to do 1 against 2 and 2 against 3, and then the winners of those against each other?
Oh, I don't know. I
Okay.
think I've seen people do that. They didn't just out of the 3 they pick their favorite.
I think I'm going to end up with the same result either way.
Okay, do both ways.
Okay. So if I do Bone Shard Daughter versus Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, Undertaking of Heart and Mercy is going to win. If I do Undertaking of Heart and Mercy versus Stellalune, Undertaking of Heart and Mercy is going to win. So
okay, and if you did Bone Shard Daughter versus versus Stellalune?
Bone Shard versus Stellalune, I think Stellalune
Okay.
would win. So that's my ranking basically, isn't it? It's Undertaking is at the top, followed by Stellalune, followed by Bone Shard.
Okay, so Undertaking wins your bracket?
Yeah.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah.
So if I did your technique, if I did Mask of Mirrors versus Flamefall, Mask of Mirrors wins easily. If I do Flamefall versus Fool's Errand wins. So Flamefall is going to be my number 3.
Yeah.
And then Mask of Mirrors versus Fool's Errand, I'm going to have to go that Fool's Errand wins. I mean, it's Fool's Errand. So
there you go.
Mask of Mirrors is just like, I remember it being just like such a great experience of reading it. It's such a lush book and I just loved it. But yeah, Fool's Errand wins. So Fool's Errand wins my bracket.
But that's interesting because it ends up essentially with your very first favorite of the year, against your last favorite of the year.
Yeah. My January book against my December book.
Yeah. That's funny.
And that's only because October was Babel. Otherwise,
yeah,
it would have been a bit different. But yeah, I guess Fool's Errand. So if you compare it to if you weren't doing the bracket method and you were just doing like a favorites book of the year for your channel, the top 10 or whatever, would Undertaking win your book of the year?
I don't know. I haven't actually figured it out yet because I did want to wait until I have actually finished the year, although I don't think it's going to change anyway. But I really do. I think that Undertaking is going to be really far up there, either way. Yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, Fool's Errand is probably going to be my book of the year because the only book that it's going to flip flop between Babel and Fool's Errand.
Yeah.
So it's going to be any given day it changes, which one it is. I think the thing is with Fool's Errand is that there's 16 books in this world, so I have way more emotional attachment than Babel, which is a standalone. But
yeah, well, exactly. So I think it probably doesn't make too much of a difference to the favorite, because there is a very good chance that Undertaking is still going to be my favorite. What I think the bracket method makes a difference to is the other books.
Absolutely, because I don't think Flamefall would. It may crack my top 10, but it definitely wouldn't crack my top 3 of the year.
Yeah.
Had Flamefall been pitted against Bone Shard Daughter, for example, I think Bone Shard Daughter would have won, or something like that. So
yeah,
it's just, I think you're right. I think it makes a difference for the top in general.
Overall, the overall list rather than whatever's at the top.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah, but Fool's Errand was definitely.
So is Undertaking of Heart and Mercy my favourite book of the year then? I think it actually might be. Which really is surprising, isn't it?
Isn't it YA?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
I'm pretty sure it's adult. It came in the adult Fairy Loot box.
Oh, okay.
So
what's it about again?
One of the. So it's a fantasy romance about one character is an undertaker, basically, and the other is kind of like a mercenary bounty hunter type guy who's killing like these monster things and brings them to this particular undertaker to dispose of in this special way that you have to dispose of these monsters, and they absolutely hate each other, but they don't hate each other by the end. And so it's the hate to love trope, but it's also the secret pen pals trope, because they're actually writing to each other but don't know that they're writing to each other.
Is it a standalone?
It's really cute. It is, yeah.
Well, color me intrigued.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no interest in this book until now, since it's your favorite.
Yeah, and the thing that I really like about it as well is that it is not one of those teeny tiny female giant man.
Ugh, I'm so over that trope.
I hate that. It's driving me up a wall. But Mercy, which is the female character, is tall. And
there we go.
Basically virtually as tall as Heart, which is the other main character. So
that is great. That is great.
I would ask you to tell us what Fool's Errand is about, but I don't think you can.
I can't, no, but I can tell you that it is the 7th book. Yeah, or 8th if you count the novella, but 7th full-length novel in the realm of the Elderlings, which is Robin Hobb's book series, which is separated into 3 trilogies and 1 quartet. And the first book that started it all was Assassin's Apprentice, which has the worst title of all, and is like Assassin's Apprentice. It doesn't make you want to read it. If I see a book at the store and it's called Assassin's Apprentice, I'm like, I don't want no.
Like that's why I did want to read it.
Oh, well, I've heard a lot of people are like, no, the title made me not want to. But then again, all her books are like Assassin's Apprentice, Assassin's Quest, Royal Assassin, Assassin's Fate, Fool's Quest, Fool's Errand. Like it's like she doesn't have the best titles.
Well, this is why I cannot keep track of which book we're meant to be on. Like, which one are we supposed to be reading next?
Golden Fool. That is what I know.
Golden Fool. Okay.
And then I think Fool's Fate is next. Yeah, and then it's Fool's Fate. And then come the dragon books. Those are going to be easy to remember because they're different. Well, then again, Dragon Blood, Dragon Haven, Dragon City of Dragons, Dragon Keeper. I don't know if that's the order. Oh, wow. Definitely not the order, but those are the titles. And then we have Fool's Assassin, Fool's Quest.
Fool's Assassin!
Yeah, we have Fool's Assassin, Fool's Quest, and Assassin's Fate, which that I know was the last one.
Just like, how?
Honey, I know.
Track?
Yeah, you don't. So that's always when people are like, when you do. So I watch a lot of videos about Realm of the Elderlings, and um, mainly it's always kind of like the same people, like Madison Scott, Derry, and Evie, and stuff, like all of our friends that like the Realm of the Elderlings as well. And then every time Scott is like, "Oh, my favorite books are Fool's Fate." Well, it's Assassin's Fate, and then Fool's Fate and Fool's Errand. I'm like, okay, Assassin's Fate. I know it's the last one, but what's Fool's Fate again? What's Fool's Errand again? Where do they? I'm always like mental PC and like, oh yeah, I know now. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But basically, yeah,
Yeah.
the realm of the Elderlings follows our main character Fitz, and he is the bastard son of the prince who is the king in waiting. And then when they find out, it's a bit of a scandal, and his father abdicates the throne. But Fitz is like taken into the castle because his maternal grandparents are like, we don't want to take care of him anymore. We don't have money for this crap. Take this kid, take care of him. And he gets trained to be the royal assassin because they're like, you are of royal blood, so it's kind of handy. But also, you can't be parading around court as if you were an actual royal. So, bada bing, bada boom.
We're gonna find something for you to do, so you might as well kill people for us.
There we go, and we feed you for it.
Pretty much, yeah.
And the series is shaping up to be one of my favorite series of all time. And I think it already is, but I mean, we're halfway there ish, less. So, yeah, less than that. So,
as in this particular trilogy, or the Realm of the
the Realm
Elderlings
of the
as a whole?
Elderlings
Okay.
as a whole. I would have to reread all of it again, I think, to see, or actually finish it to see which one is going to be my favorite trilogy. But yeah, maybe this one. So far, Tanya Man is definitely even just one book in,
Winning.
because I have never had this emotional reaction to any of her other books.
She hasn't. I
No.
promise.
I mean, I loved Royal Assassin. Okay, like I loved Royal Assassin. But I knew that what happened at the end of Royal Assassin wasn't going to last. You know, if you remember how that ends. So, but with Fool's Errand, I wasn't expecting anything. I was like, it's the first book in a trilogy. What could happen in this book? It's just like, yay, we're going on an adventure. Bilbo Bagginsing around. That is not what happens.
You trusted Hob too much.
I did. It's a rookie mistake, man. Rookie mistake. I'm never doing that again.
Never
So now I'm going
trust
into
Hob.
I'm going into every single one of her books, praying for the best, expecting the worst, and that's how I'm going to protect myself.
Yeah.
But I like this book. You, if you don't believe me, I have my witness here. I was sobbing for 30 minutes straight.
True.
Like,
it's true.
I couldn't stop crying, and I was sending her voice messages.
She sent me a voice message in floods of tears telling me how much she hated the book. Hence why I was originally surprised when she was like, it's my favorite book of the year. I was like, what? How?
This is me as a person. This book broke me. It hurt me. It's my favorite book
love
of the year.
it.
I love this book so much because I was crying in the beginning just for seeing the characters again. Because I have, unlike you, I didn't read Assassin's Quest last year. I read Assassin's Quest, what was last year? 21. So I read it in 2020. So I haven't seen Nidas and Fitz in 2 years. And it was like finding besties again. I'm like, yay.
Yeah. I love that. That's why I loved rereading so much.
I know. But this is also why every time, and this is totally off topic, kind of off topic, every time I start The Final Empire again, I'm like, my heart is so happy. I'm home. Like, just ash fell from the sky. Yep, Michael Kramer, you can take me there. We're good. I'm good. I'm in good hands. I know I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to be sad by the end, but it's okay. See, again, those books, they are not happy books.
No, it's true. It's true.
Anyway, what is your takeaway from this bracket picking method?
I would say it's helpful if you're not sure which book is your favorite. Like if you've got a top group of books, but you're not sure which one of those ultimately wins, it might be useful to do the bracket thing to figure out what your actual top book is, but not to figure out what your top 10 or your top 12 are necessarily.
I agree. I don't think, I mean, we could do this again next year if we want, just as a joke and as a maybe like a tradition or something.
Yeah.
Since we talked about Christmas traditions earlier. But this is not how I will be picking my favorite books of the year in general.
No. But it is an interesting experiment.
Yeah. Because you're kind of forced to choose. You can't just be like, I don't know. So
yeah. No fence sitting allowed.
No. So cool. Well, is there anything you would want to ask? Is there anything you'd want to add to this chat, or are you good?
No, nothing to add.
Okay, cool.
Or ask.
There we go. Well, me neither. So I think we're gonna call it a night for now. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. If you watched, let us know in the comments of this video what was your favorite book, and if you use the bracket method and what you think of it. And if you just want to let us know that you were here, you can always, of course, leave a dragon emoji. And I will also leave, of course, Sophia's channel linked in the description, and our Christmas video. If it's already live, it's probably gonna be live before mine is live. So I will leave all of that in the description of this video. And until next time, happy reading. Bye.
Bye.